Alright, Last of Us Gamers. Oh, wait a second, this isn't Last of Us Gamers. Welcome back to the channel. It's Giggles, I guess. I don't really say my name because it's not a good name. As you can tell by the title today, not that I know what the title's going to be, I'm going to try a new thing on the channel. You may know a YouTuber by the name of Proxidist. Proxidist, I think. I don't know if I've ever actually watched any of his main channel videos, but he has a second channel called Proxidist Plus, where he just makes a bunch of random videos about video games and things he wants to talk about. So I thought, hey, I'm going to steal that. I'm going to do it for myself, because I have a lot of random thoughts that I want to share that would usually end up in one of my big videos and as like a 5-minute aside or tangent. It dawns on me sometimes like this could just be its own video, so we're going to do it today. So as you can tell by the title, today the video topic is about trying to play more than one game at a time, and how I am kind of incapable of doing it. And this seems especially prevalent because I'm currently playing NieR Automata, or NieR Automata, if you're that way inclined. And it's a good game. The combat's pretty fun, it's got a lot of weirdness, it's got a lot of like personality, the music is wonderful, which I guess is just harmonious between all Japanese games. I don't know. You know, it runs a lot better on PlayStation than I was expecting, because I remember hearing it wasn't that good on PC, so that's why I bought it on PlayStation years ago. And it runs like 60 FPS, which I wasn't expecting. Or at least the frame rate's unlocked. You know, it all seems pretty good, interesting so far. But it hasn't quite got its hooks into me. You know, I'm not like staying up until 5 AM playing the game every single day and like thinking about it, which is, you know, what you'd want. That's the ideal from a game. So it seems prevalent to talk about now because I'm in the scenario now of, well, I'm not loving this game. I'm liking it, I'm not loving it. So if I wanted to play a game, I feel this pressure, or I feel this like, oh, this pull, like, oh, I need to play this game because I'm playing this game. Because I think a lot of people have the issue of not being able to finish games because they're jumping between so many different games. But me personally, I'm too loyal for some reason to the one game. I can only play one game until I finish it or I give up on it. And I actually have a prior example of this from like 2017 where I tried alternating, and the fact I remember this is crazy. I tried alternating between two different games, and those games were The Walking Dead Michonne and Resident Evil 4, the original obviously. And Michonne was the game that ended up winning out, and I finished that game. And I don't really remember how I felt about it. Except I do, that's a lie. I played it, the first episode, I hated it so much when it first released, and like, god, like over 10 years ago now. But then a year and a half later, I played the second episode out of nowhere just because of this, as I say, trying to like get through some games I hadn't played or I'd given up on. And I quite enjoyed the second episode, and then I have no memory of the third episode, so whatever. Anyway, the long story short is, between those two games, Michonne was the one that I ended up sticking with, and I didn't actually finish Resident Evil 4 until January 2024, which is over 2 years ago already. And obviously I loved Resident Evil 4 because it's Resident Evil 4. But this also presents an ideal scenario that I have, where you play one game, and then you start alternating with another game. So for example, I've been meaning to replay the Guardians of the Galaxy game, because I bought that like last year and I want to get the Platinum Trophy, and I haven't started on it yet. So my ideal scenario there is like, oh, if I start playing this game, maybe every other day I'll just alternate between those games. And then eventually, ideally, one of those games will take my fancy, as they say. One of those games will be like, oh, I'm really getting hooked on this now, I really want to keep playing this game. And then I just see that game out to the finish, I beeline that game. And then the biggest issue I have with games is, well, what do I play now? I've finished this game, I have to start from the beginning again, what do I play now? Where do I go from here? But that issue, again, ideally, allegedly, evidently, that idea might be squashed, because I can just go back to the game I was already playing, in theory. Obviously that might not actually work, because if I drop that game for like a few weeks to finish this other game, maybe I don't want to go back to it, maybe I don't remember it, maybe I'm kind of like, you know, I didn't end up getting into it that much. Because ultimately, playing games, it's not like a chore, you know, it's not a chore, it's not a task, it's a fun thing to do. And when I'm sitting around at home, I'm like, I don't know what to do, I want to play a game. And I'm just staring at the endless backlog of games that I'm probably never gonna play, and feeling kind of pressured to play this one game that I'm not loving at that moment. But you know, will I actually apply that theory? Will I actually try and play this other game at the same time? I don't know. Who knows? And it's especially funny as well because I just replayed Final Fantasy VII Rebirth like a month or so ago already. Finally got the Platinum Trophy for that. Took me in total like 225 hours, which is fucking just ridiculous. That's the most I've played any single player game, and I've only played it twice. And just yesterday, randomly, I just booted up the game and played for like 90 minutes. You know, I just started doing some of the combat challenges because I can't get away from that game. That game has become, mentioning Proxidist Plus, he mentions Evil Within in every video. So Rebirth might be you know. I might just mention it in every video because it's kind of at the center of like everything for me when it comes to games now. But long story short, I guess I'll end it there, because if I keep going and I just keep rambling, I'll never stop. So I don't know if I said anything much there. I don't know if anything I said made sense to you. I'm also not going to make a second channel to do this stuff, and I'm not going to do it like regularly, I'm sure, but sometimes I just have ideas, sometimes I have thoughts, you know. The amount of times I've tried doing video ideas, I've just scrapped them. Like, speaking of Resident Evil 4, last year I started doing this thing where I was inspired by another YouTuber called Rasputin on one of, I think, his second channel. He does these videos where it's like, oh, here's every game I played every month. I started doing that last year, but for the year prior. So I started making those videos in 2025 about the games I played in 2024, and I got up until like August actually, but I never uploaded any of them. And I was actually doing that to get to November 2024 because that's when I played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I really want to talk about that game for like an hour, just going wild, because the idea of making a whole edited video was kind of daunting. But that never really came to pass. I never ended up uploading those. If any of you want to see those, let me know, if there's anyone watching. And also, let me know, what do you do? How do you play games? You know, are you like me, or are you just incredibly annoying and anal about it, and it just becomes like, you don't even want to do it now, because you think about it too much, and then, you know, it's like you've already done it because you thought about it so much, but you haven't done anything. You're just sitting around. You haven't started playing a game yet. You're wasting all your time. Resident Evil 4 was 2.5 years ago. We're all gonna die. Anyway, enough of that existential dread. Thanks for watching if you did. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you do. You know, what's your solution? How do you play games? Because me personally, I've never been the sort of person who can jump between multiple games and then, oh, this one's really grabbed me, I'm gonna stick this one out. For some reason I start a game and I'll either finish it or I'll give up on it, and then I start another game. I can't seem to make the most of the time. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's all. Alright, thanks. See you. Oh god.
Let's go.